talking about curiosity is also about seeing how other people see the world. And one of the ways that I think is very interesting and enjoyable to look at that is through maps. Here's the map. I guess we're all pretty much familiar with this map. I grew up with being taught with maps like that. And most people in Europe are taught with maps like that. I expect in a lot of African countries are taught with maps like that. But why is that like that? Why is that map like that? Why does it look like that? Why is my little island called Britain up here right in the middle? And why is it so big? Because believe me, it's not as big as that, really. That makes it look as if it's half as big as the Democratic Republic of Congo. How could that even be possible? Why is that map like that? Well, when these maps were developed, there was the British Empire. And they always say history is written by the winners. It's the same with geography. Those ones who are powerful, they see the world in their own way, and that's the way they want to teach the rest of us. And when I lived in China, I realized how interesting it was and how valuable it was to get a different perspective. Because when you're in China, that's the world map. That's what every Chinese child sees in school. And suddenly I noticed that my little island is a little island off near to the edge of the map. Doesn't look very important there. And that's the way that the Chinese always thought about Britain throughout their history. When they had strong emperors, they thought we were a little island somewhere in the Western Sea. And that changes your perspective. Let's look at some more, which are pretty interesting. I mean, when you look at the world that way, my God, it changes completely. And you begin to notice details or notice things that you didn't notice before. And it's purely coincidence that we happen to decide that north is north and south is south. It doesn't have to be that way. The Earth is just a large ball floating around in space. It can be any way up you like. And here's another one. Now, this is a very interesting map. This is called the Mappa Mundi, and it's the earliest map from the Middle Ages. This is about 700 years old, and it is in a cathedral church in England, in a place called Hereford. And I've seen this map. I've been there, and I've seen it, and it's very big. It's very magnificent, and very, very precious. It's the only one like this. And this shows you how people used to see the world hundreds of years ago. Because in this map, east is at the top and west is at the bottom. North is on the left and south is on the right, more or less. And this was a map which shows the world view. And I think Jerusalem, their holy city, is in the middle. That represents the Mediterranean Sea, the dark area in the middle, and all the rivers that flow into that sea. And that was their worldview. And it's so important to see that historical perspective as well, because we need to understand how people thought before us and how they saw the world and what truths they had or they discovered. We might not agree with all of them now, but they will enrich us all the same. A few more. That's a good one, an interesting one, seen from the bottom. It's a different layout, a different perspective. Look how big Antarctica is. We don't often think of it. It's down at the bottom of our maps. We forget about it, but it's a huge place, enormous, as big as Australia. And that one is supposed to be the most accurate representation of the size of some of these countries, because if you put that map together around, it will fit around a ball, it will fit around a globe. And finally, I like this one. I think it's rather beautiful, just the way it's laid out. It looks like a butterfly. Again, it's the globe deconstructed. But through all these different maps, we can actually see different perspectives on the world as seen by different geographers, different scientists, different political viewpoints, different historical viewpoints. And maps, I think, are a great way to be curious. Okay, let's just have a pause for a couple of minutes, and if anybody's got any thoughts or questions you'd like to put into the chat, and then I think our MC Desire will read out if there are any interesting questions or any comments. And of course, I welcome any comments from the team as well.
Hello, Mr. Andrew. My
Hello.
name is Praise Shito, and I'll be taking over from Desire.
Okay, hello, Praise. Nice to see you again.
Amazing. So, hello, everybody. If you've got anyone who's got any question, please show by raising your hand or typing in the chat box so that you get the answer that you require. Since there are no questions, Mr. Andrew, I think you can go on.
I'll go on. But I'm very keen to encourage people to write in questions, even if not right now, that they send us in some questions that we can talk about. Thank you, Saul. We appreciate your comment. I think you said, I guess I was too gullible. I think we're all gullible. It's very easy to be gullible. It's very easy to be to think that what you see is what's real, or to think that you know, to take things on their face value. If somebody comes to sell you something and they say this is a great thing, oh yes, thank you very much, and you pay them $100 for it, and you don't actually examine the quality of it before you buy it. Most of us wouldn't do that. We would think about it. We would look. We would try to find out whether it's valuable and whether it's something that's worth paying money for. And it should be the same with information and with truth, which is actually more important to our lives than physical things. Okay, thank you very much.